Thanks for staying with us at STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and my guest is Scott Berzon of the St. Louis Jewish Book Festival, which is coming up in November, 2 weeks in November, the 5th through the 19th. But we have a lot of events starting this month, one in October and November, obviously, for the festival. So let's pick things back up. You've got Zach Posen coming, which is great, doing a cookbook.
Yes.
But then someone also equally as famous, probably, if not maybe more, who's coming up after that?
Yeah, our second keynote presentation is going to be on November 5th, and that will be with former Senator of California, Barbara Boxer. Barbara retired from the Senate last year, or in 2016, and she recently wrote an autobiography about her life in politics and how her childhood affected wanting to go into a life of public service, and I think it'll be a really big draw.
Yeah, that'll be great. And then when we get to the 2-week festival, you mentioned earlier, there's such a diversity. You cover sort of everything from cookbooks to, I know a big one is sports. So let's kind of get into some of the highlights of the 2-week festival.
Well, because we are such a baseball-centered town, our committee that reads books on sports really likes baseball books, and it draws a good crowd. So this year we have 2 books on baseball, one of which talks about baseball in the 60s and various aspects politically, culturally, that affected the sport during that decade. And then another book that is specific to Hank Greenberg, who is one of the most famous Jewish baseball players. And that'll be a small little panel of speakers that I think will be really interesting. Another popular event we have every year is a special women's event. And our speaker this year is a journalist named Leslie Bennett, who wrote a new kind of definitive biography on Joan Rivers. And in the honor of Joan Rivers, we decided in our pre-author reception, which we do every year with food, we're going to actually put on a fashion show.
Oh, right.
And we're partnering with a local boutique down on the hill. And the shop owner is going to dress 20, 25 models for us and do a mini runway show before the author talk. So we try and turn these author events into, a special occasion, not just someone standing at a podium and lecturing to you for an hour.
I know that I saw in one of the materials you have, and I can't think of his name now, but an actor who's just written a book.
Stephen Tobolowsky,
yes.
Who most people don't know by name, but when you see his face, you recognize him. He's been in hundreds of shows and movies. One of my favorites that he was in, he played the role of Ned Ryerson in Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. But yeah, he's great, super humorous. He's written a fairly serious book, but necessarily it's going to be a funny.
I was going to say, what is his book about? I couldn't tell from just.
So I don't want to give too much away, but he had what was close to being a near-death experience, and he talks about how he came back to find his religion after that very scary experience.
Wow. So he'll be here, and then the same kind of format, and really for the. Now, tell me, how does it work in terms of for these 2 weeks, different time? If you can give people an idea of how the festival actually works and the timing.
It's a busy 2 weeks. On most days, we program 3 authors a day. One in the morning at 10:30 a.m., one in early afternoon around 1, and then one in the evening, usually around 7 p.m. So if you're working, you can still come to evening programs or take off lunch and come see us at 1 o'clock.
And then how does it break down? You either buy a pass or you purchase a pass, or you can go to single.
I'm glad you asked. We have some programs which are completely free and open to the public, like William Cohen's next week. All the other programs either have an individual ticket price, or for only $99, you can buy a pass that lets you into every single author program year-round. We have 35, 38 different author programs that we are going to put on, so it's a great deal.
Wow, that's wonderful. I got to ask you, because obviously, I mean, this is a lot of, do you read every book?
I don't.
No.
So self-admittedly, I'm a very slow reader, so smaller books like Bill Cohen's, I do read, but I have a whole team of wonderful volunteers that help in the selection process, help read to find great content and to make it a diverse
I was going to say, because each year, I mean, really, the lineups are always really great and very diverse and cover a lot of areas. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing about the festival. Thank you. And we've got the information again for you on the screen. It's the St. Louis Jewish Book Festival. It's coming up November 5th through the 19th. But as we've been talking about, there's events that start beforehand as soon as this month. So go to the website to check out information on those details. It's stlJewishBookFestival.org. And thank you again, Scott, for being here.
Thank you.
All right, well, there's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.